So our symposium this year's title is Head, Hands, and Heart. And what we really want for the students to do is to start to decide how they want to start thinking about their project. So one way to think about the project is to start with a topic. And that topic can be any topic they would like. So let's just say world hunger. We'll use world hunger. So the topic might be world hunger. And then what they want to do is they want their research then to lead to a question. So maybe the topic, after they've done their research, would lead them to the question, should ending world hunger be as important as ending illiteracy? I don't know if that's what they may say, but the point is that this research right here would lead to this. And if we're looking at something like this, then we're looking at what we would consider head, like brains, right? So we're looking at that this particular research was sort of a heady sort of way of thinking, right? Looking at head. And then we might want to look at maybe something like hands. So you might say, for example, that project then, right, would lead to, from their research, would lead to something where you have hands, which would be actually what kind of action. So is this, and then let's say organization, I don't know what organization it would be, maybe UNICEF or something, right? Effective in alleviating world hunger. So is this organization effective in alleviating world hunger? If we're looking at that sort of thing, then we're saying, well, you know, what is it that we can do, right? Or what is being done about this, and is it effective? And of course, then we have, right, hands. And then a very important component of head, hands, and hearts is the heart, which is actually the compassion. We're looking at compassion. So we might want to look at are we only focused on first world hunger situations? You know, and if so, why? Right? And so they might want to lead with the heart. It might be about compassion. Do we only have compassion for our first world? Are we not looking at the issues of the third world? Or it could be a lot of other things that come from compassion, right? It could be, you know, shouldn't we make sure that people who are poor also are able to eat and not deprive them? Isn't this the kind and compassionate thing to do? Is this maybe the moral thing to do? So we're looking at something that's going to be led with the heart. So we want all of the research to maybe stem from a topic and then go straight to a head, to a hand, and to a heart question. Eventually, much later, as they finish with their project, they're going to also end up with the universal theme. And they're going to look at the universal theme and they're going to say, okay, I'm looking at my entire project. What universal theme could that fall into? And then they maybe might decide that that universal theme is going to be community, which looks like that would work here actually. And then that would be their universal theme that they would hold on to. But they may decide many other things. Remember, there are 12 of them. So they can decide which one they feel applies to their entire project. And at this symposium, we'll make sure that we put all of the themes together this time so that we'll have all of the projects in different themes. So basically, at this point, at the very beginning, we're looking at showing them how to think, pulling those topics, and then having them leading to questions. However, that's not the only way they think. They can also think the opposite way, where we have questions. And these questions might lead to a topic. So you might have the same questions, because many of your students will go from question. And these same questions could lead to something, to a different topic. We could have these exact same questions right here. Should world hunger be as important as ending illiteracy? Is this effective in alleviating world hunger? Are we focused on first world hunger and situations? If so, why? And then that might be able to lead to maybe it's not hunger, maybe it's injustice, or inequity, or law. It could be a million different things. So some of your students might come from different questions that are head, hand, and heart. Do that research and find out what topic does that all lead to. So we have two different ways in which we can think about this particular symposium. In creating questions, you may want to have them just start to write random questions. The questions that I like usually are the why, the what, the does or do, shoulds are good as well, and have them just write many, many, many random questions and just time it and just let them write as many questions as possible. Then on the flip side, you want to go ahead and have topics. And tell them the topic can be one word or two. And then we want to go ahead and have them list as many topics as possible. I usually give this one about maybe 2 minutes and the other one about 5 minutes. Then after we have the topics, and then after we have the questions, then I have them actually decide what 5 are the strongest. And they go ahead and circle 5. And I make them do that very quickly so it's out of interest, out of what it is that the gut feel, right? And then I go over to the topic and I have them circle 5 topics, right? And then I go back, I have them eliminate 2 questions, and then I have them take the questions and connect it to the different topics. Once they figure out where the connections are, have them discuss in groups about their topic and their question combined. So you can have a very simple question, for example, should we end world hunger? And then on the back they may have topics that are like love or war or global warming. Depending upon what topics they choose to go with that one question, that will color their question. And then this creates the depth in their research, the beginning of the depth in their research. When you're doing the questions, you may want to think about saying over their head lots and lots and lots of subjects. Everything from fantasy to real subjects to science subjects to art and music and history subjects to personal ideas to personal questions, relationships, etc. And when you're working with topic, you want to say over their heads, is it personal? Is it community? Is it global? Personal, community, global. Just say it over their heads over and over as they're doing it. And that way you're kind of coming from personal, community, and global topics to subject matter, which can be all over the board. That creates that interest for the child. And then this is what starts to begin the overall approach to hands, head, and heart.